What is up, my Reds family, and welcome to our Premier League predictions for the 24-25 season. Today is the 16th of August. This recording is happening before United take on Fulham. With me today is my special guest, Armand Talliard. Some of you might recognize him from the bench talk that we did, goodness, like 2 years ago. But anyway, let's get straight into it, and let's start off with the teams that are going to get relegated.
I'm going to make a little disclaimer. I made my log, and then I thought I could change it because I made it like a week ago. And I thought I could change it a little bit, and then I found out I couldn't because we use that League Predict app. And but I'm actually happy because I normally overthink it too much. I think I'm going to stick with this.
Yeah, stick with your guns.
I'm going to beat you. I know I'm going to beat you because I know it's good. But
yes. So by the way, when he says beat me, every time we do this, we've done this a couple of times. The loser has to buy the winner a burger of their choice.
Yeah.
Just making that
and
clear.
you enjoyed your burger.
Absolutely. I won the last time. Yes, I'm going to win again.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there. Anyway, your 20th place team.
Okay, so I put Ipswich 20th. I do think they could potentially be like 18th. But and there's a very small chance of me. I think they might end 17th, just make it. But I mean, the big thing with Ipswich, they're like a League One team.
Yeah.
And I just I like McKenna. I think he's cool, but I think League One Championship through the playoffs is great, but hitting the Premier League is because of that gap, it's just so big. And I think the players, there's not really time to get the culture shock and then kind of work through it. There's no space and time for that. So I think just because of the level of experience and the level of quality that's in that gap between Premier League and not just Championship but League One. And we call Ipswich almost like a League One team because it's the same players.
Yeah, there's been much changes.
Yeah. So I do think that.
I'm in total agreement with you, not in terms of the placing, but I do think they're going to go down. I have Ipswich in 18th.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think there is a broader problem here because I have Southampton in 19th, which is another team that like to play good football. And I think this is the problem: is there's been a trend over the last, I don't know how many years. It started with Swansea back in the day. They're the only team that got it right, where there was a team that came out, played really good football and stayed up. But normally how it used to be was you come to the Premier League, you sit back, you try be solid, try be hard to beat, try stay in the Premier League for a couple of years, and then you try make that jump, get that next manager in, try expand the football. Whereas now it seems like teams in the Championship, like Norwich, we saw with Norwich a couple of years ago, same thing, came up, tried to play good football, went straight back down. And I think that's the problem now with Ipswich. They're going to come up. Are they going to be willing to change their style? Is Ian McKenna going to be willing to sit back, try be hard to beat and play that kind of football, or is he going to try be brave, be on the front foot? And I think that is a problem.
Well, of all the teams that are of all the promoted teams, I think Kenna is probably the manager that's the most likely to actually adapt and change.
Yeah, that's why I thought 18th, they're just going to miss out. I mean, we saw that Burnley with Company absolutely blew the Championship away. Yeah. It was like a joke for them. And then they come into the league, they're stubborn and try to do the same thing, relegated.
Just before we move on from Ipswich, I also, did you see they signed Calvin Phillips?
No. Oh wait, I did see that. Yeah, I saw for
that's
this. That's a good signing.
I think that's a good signing. Yeah.
Phillips has got a lot to prove. So
everyone in the Premier League is talking about sixes, the Rodris and your Rices, and he's that kind of player. Yeah. He's maybe not at that level, but he's looking for a club that's going to give him that ability. And I think that actually is a signing that could keep him in the Premier League.
Yeah, he needs to rejuvenate his career, and maybe that's the right move. By the way, I have Forest in 20th. To be honest, I don't have much, to back it. Everything just seems negative at Forest. Always complaining about the referees. I know that they have things to back that up, but just the fans, everything seems so toxic. Maybe new season, it won't be like that. But I'm just kind of I'm over Forest, to be honest. They were a team that I liked and I wanted to do well when they got promoted. And then they just became an annoyance. I'm sorry, Forest fans. I really am. And we did this with Bournemouth, or I did, a couple of seasons back, and then they totally proved me wrong. So this is probably going to happen again.
If Bournemouth being relegated for the last 2 seasons, I'll just keep doing so well. I completely hear you with the Forest. The only thing about Forest that I just can't that I don't think they'll relegate. They have a quality team. they do have a good team.
Yeah.
And I mean, you need a good manager and you need a good squad. They got one of the things ticked. And look, Nuno, as a
exactly.
I've got
You'll know about Nuno.
I've got a soft spot for Nuno. He did amazing when he was at Wolves, and then kind of went and then went to Saudi, and I don't know if it really worked out there. And I don't know if it's the same Nuno or if he's bringing the same kind of thing. But so he's not a bad manager. But the negative thing I completely agree with. But they got a good squad. I mean,
Yes,
they got Hudson.
they shouldn't go down.
No, I know Igor, the guy they signed, got injured now. So I don't know if they're going into the market again to look for another striker. I think Origi was really good for them, but I think his loan move ended. I think, we might still be there.
But also, they did also break rules, things like that. And that also just adds to the annoyance.
That's true.
They complain, and break rules, and then still complain. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, it's true. I can see them being relegated. It would be I think it would be a shock. I think people will be like, because I don't think I've been looking at all the prediction things, and no one's really had them relegated. But like a lot of people said, they think they can still be around that age, but won't make it because of the squad quality that they have. So I think it'll be a little bit of a shock to get relegated with that squad, especially.
And
it'll be a disaster for Forest to get relegated.
100%.
I really think it's like an Everton disaster almost because of the amount of money they put into the squad, building and signings
and wages, and it could be a disaster.
Those players aren't going to be keen to stay at Forest. Yeah.
And we just quickly run over your 19th and 18th place teams.
Leicester and Brentford.
Okay.
I mean, whether they're 18th or not doesn't matter. But look,
Carvalho was a good signing.
Yes, I know. I sent you a message and I was like, I saw Carvalho into Brentford, they might get Europe. I'm a big fan of Carvalho, by the way. But Carvalho could potentially be this way, but that is a brilliant signing. And I think they're looking at a lot more signings, which are actually really good. But Brentford, when I think of Brentford, I kind of put them. Wolves had a lot of tussles with Brentford last season. We played each other twice in the FA Cup. We obviously played each other twice in the league. And I looked at like a struggling Wolves side playing a Brentford side, and we had the better of them in most of the games. And it was weird for me because Wolves weren't like good last season. And I just think that level, I haven't seen them do anything really besides the Carvalho signing. I think that's a really good signing, which could make this all really. But I haven't seen anything really do anything really that's going to improve them in any way.
Could holding on to Tony be a game changer for them though? Because he was absent for most of last season, and maybe that's why made it difficult for them.
The thing about Tony is he came back from he played, didn't he play? Yeah, he came back like not midway through the season, like at the end of the season almost.
Yes, and he scored a free kick or something.
Yeah.
I remember he came back.
That funny free kick.
Yes.
He looked like a good striker, but he didn't look. It wasn't like the blow you out of the water, Tony.
Yeah, he didn't look the same.
It's almost like I think what's important. He doesn't have the De Bruyne to really feed him. He has to work hard to get the ball, to get the goals.
Yeah,
and he seems like a striker. Which I'm surprised no one has picked up, but I heard a thing that he wants like a big wage to these next clubs, almost like $250,000 or something a week, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But he needs that good service. Like he would be in a good signing for Tottenham, I think, because of the service.
Yeah, I think it was between him and Solanke.
Yeah, so Solanke is the same. Him and Solanke are very similar. Like they such good goal scorers. Playing in teams where they had to work so hard, which makes it difficult. But now you put them in a position. And you have teams that just like good players that feed the ball and then they can just score goals. That's where Tony would thrive. But in a Brentford team that doesn't have a lot of service, him and Carvalho could be a good link up.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. If Carvalho plays a number 10 in that team, could be interesting.
And look, there's another window coming up in Jan.
Yeah,
where if Brentford don't sign him now, the Jan window is going to be vital because. If they don't accept an offer from a club in Jan, he's going for free at the end of the season, and I don't think Brentford are going to want to do that.
Yeah.
And him leaving in Jan could be disaster for them.
Yeah. Let's see, because I think you could kind of compare Eriksen and Carvalho a little bit in terms of the style of play that they have. And when Eriksen went to Brentford, was like the player that team was lacking, and then obviously he left. Maybe that could be Carvalho now.
Very good point. Yeah.
Okay, next one. Oh yeah, you said Leicester, right?
Yeah, Leicester. I didn't think Leicester were going to relegate it, and then I remembered they're coming up with a points deduction.
Yeah. So I've got Leicester in 17th. So I also, because Leicester have always been like a Premier League team to me. So that's why I have them just surviving, because they are going to be punished. And I do think they will just still survive. But yeah, your reasonings?
I mean, it's hard enough to come up from the Championship and survive your first league in the Premier League. Your first season.
Yes.
Not first season Premier League, but coming up from the Championship. It's already so difficult. To do it with a points deduction, I mean, you have to be a team that does not belong in the Championship, and you were just there for a little bit, and you're back in the Premier League, and now you're a Premier League team again. And I think losing their managers, massive.
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Maresca.
Seems to be Chelsea's thing, but Steve Cooper,
yeah, he's a safe pair of hands.
Yeah. You got Vardy, who's like 37.
A million years old. Yeah.
What's the other striker, Daka? He's not like, he doesn't have a good record of scoring goals, but he's gonna have to step up to the plate massively to be able to give them goals. Goals is ultimately goals. Where are their goals gonna come from? I think that they're gonna be better than the other two teams that come up. And potentially better than Forest, potentially better than Brentford, but the points to make up, it could be like 15 points. Can you imagine it's 15 points?
Yeah, that would be nice. It would be nuts. But look, I actually think if Maresca stayed, I think it could have also been like a Burnley, because I don't think this guy is someone who's going to change football. So I think it could benefit.
You think Cooper is actually a better?
Yeah. Okay, give me your 17th to 10. Give me the whole.
Okay.
Leicester. I'll give mine, and then let's talk about some controversial ones that we can pick up.
Just surviving. I've got Forest. I've got Everton in 15th. Everton. Wolves in 14th. I'm not happy with that one, by the way. And then I've got Brighton in 13th.
Okay.
So I've got all up to 10th. I don't know why I'm stopped there. Bournemouth in 12th. Fulham 11th. And then Newcastle in 10th.
Okay. I've got, like I said, Leicester in 17th, Brentford in 16th, Bournemouth in 15th, Everton in 14th, Crystal Palace 13th, Fulham 12th, Wolves 11th, West Ham 10th. And I think this is the hardest part of the table to predict, because it's a matter of like 5 points max between like that jump. So it's so hard to get them right. Any one of mine you think is
Crystal Palace? I think, Crystal Palace, Newcastle. I've got Newcastle on 10, which I think is a little bit of a controversial one, but I also think Crystal Palace, you got in, 13th?
13th,
no, man.
I just think, I
can taste my burger already.
I know that they ended the season very well when they lost Hodgson. I know that they went on a good run. I understand that, but for me, Palace is just a team that lives from like 13th to 11th. They're just destined for somewhere around there, and that's why I just had to put them there. That's the only real logic I have behind that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I just, going off momentum is a big thing.
Yeah.
And yes, there's an argument that international breaks kind of break momentum, and then you have to kind of rebuild again. And seasons, when a season ends and the league season starts, that momentum has to be restored. Yeah. But you never hear managers, managers when they do their press conference and stuff, they always talk about like their form last season, and it's carrying on into this season.
And now this manager has had a pre-season with the team. So look, I understand your logic.
Yeah, I know they lost. I know Elise is a big loss, but I would have put them in 13th.
Yeah, if they keep hold of Eze.
If they lost Eze and Elise, but they kept Eze. He's a brilliant player. I really think Eze is a good player. And then you got they signed that guy from Marseille, Ismaila Sarr. Yeah, Ismaila Sarr. He's a good. I don't think he's an Elise replacement, but I think there's a lot. He just looks like a Palace player.
I mean, I don't think they were ever going to find an Elise replacement.
Yeah.
But look, Mateta was in good form as well.
Edouard.
If he can continue that, look. I think I probably am wrong. But Wolves, come on. Sorry, I didn't even mention that. This is a massive, massive Wolves supporter over here. I put Wolves in 11th. I just have a good feeling.
Okay.
I really rate Gary O'Neill. I have a soft spot for him. Obviously, he was a part of our academy. I don't know. I've got a good feeling.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Wolves. Which is good. I've seen a couple of famous big guys predicting that Wolves could be in the running to be relegated because we lost.
That was last season as well.
Yeah, well, no, everyone thought Wolves lost because of the manager lost, and fair enough. And Gary Neville did an amazing job beyond expectations, even beyond Wolves fans' expectations, which is amazing. So we got a good manager now, but now the problem is squad. We got a squad problem because now we've lost Max Kilman, who's our captain, and we've lost Pedro Neto.
Yes, and we'll get onto that.
Yeah, but I do think that losing Max Kilman, everyone thinks it's like a very big problem. Or everyone outside of Wolves are like, they've lost their captain, they've lost Max Kilman, it's a big problem. It's not. He's a good player, but he wasn't like, the best part of Max Kilman is he had like no injuries and he played like all the games. That's brilliant, but he's not like he's not a fullback, he's not a centre back that's game changing. I think there's a lot of better centre backs out there.
So he's a bit like what Cody was, a little bit.
Yeah,
when you lost Cody.
exactly. Like he's literally like I think he hasn't done as much as Cody. I love Cody, but he's a bit better than Cody. He's got a bit more pace, a little bit more skill. But we got a loanee back from Villarreal called centre back called Yerson Mosquera, and we really rate him as Wolves fan. We really think he's good. He's young, so there's a lot to like still build into it, but he's got pace. And he's more built for a back four system. Yeah. And Kilman is built for a back five system. Put Kilman in a back four, we struggled big time. Gary Neville tried to do it a bit last season, didn't work, went straight back to a back five. But now we have a centre back in to build into the system that Gary Neville wants to play. So that's not a loss, like it's a lot. It's sad losing a player for squad depth like that, but he wouldn't have worked in the system.
Yeah.
So now we have a better centre back there. So I think. Squad is fine. Pedro Neto is the big loss, but we have made some young signings, very unfamiliar names and stuff. But I'm telling you now, Rodrigo Gomez, that name, put him in your FPL team. That guy he's so good. He's really good. Young, energy, pace, excited to be there. I really think so. He's like almost a Pedro Neto replacement in a way. So I'm not worried about the Wolves.
You heard it here first. Let's touch on Everton a little bit. I think, did you have them in 15th?
But no,
or 16th, and I've got them in 14th, so not much of a difference.
Was it no, I got them in 15th, yeah.
Okay. It's, Everton. They can't have another season like this. Because, there's so many things going on at Everton. All the breaches and all that kind of stuff, and they were punished, but they still want to move into the new stadium, and there's so many things.
And there's a potential third.
Yeah, exactly. And they cannot, I'm not sure when the plan is for them to move into the new stadium, but they cannot move into that stadium in this sort of state. They have to have a decent season. And maybe they can, because their season was going okay until they got punished. And then they still managed to survive. So I think Sean Dyche is probably the perfect guy for them to have in this scenario that they're in. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Everton?
Everton, I think you nailed it. They were good last season. I think that's important to remember. Their league position wasn't a true reflection of where they ended. I really think they were good last season. And I don't think that the Onana loss is that big.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of people think that's but I don't think it's like a big. He was good, but he wasn't like a take them from.
I think he was one of those players that had just randomly would have really good games,
and then some just games where he was missing.
Yeah.
How can you be in the middle of the park and you're missing? You know what I mean? So I don't think. I think they'll they signed some good players like Lidstrom and. Jack Harrison from Leeds.
Yes, that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think so. I think they replaced him well, and I think they'll be good. I don't think that it's going to be like an amazing season, but they're quietly in the background. Not in the background dealing with it's got a little bit of shambles, but they're quietly as a club performing. I think they're quietly just steady, getting through this period, and then whether Dyche is the person to take them to the next step level, or if they'll get a new manager. I've got a good feeling they'll get a new manager. Dyche is just there to keep them in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they'll be fine.
Okay, and then we have to touch on Newcastle in 10th, you said. Why?
Where did you put them?
I have Newcastle all the way in 7th.
Oh, Conference League. Eh? Newcastle. They've put like 3 bids in for that Gahey defender. Eh?
Yes. It's just the no Europe thing for me. That's why I have Newcastle in 7th. I think they really struggled last season because of Europe, and we'll touch on Aston Villa later, which could be a similar struggle, I think. But when you're in Europe, especially the Champions League, and you have to play your first team in the Champions League and then in the Premier League, I think it hit that squad hard. But now going back to no Europe, I think could benefit them.
Maybe it was the Europe thing, but when I was watching Newcastle last season, they were great at home. Their fans really got behind them being in the Champions League, and they were in a tough group, and then that demolishing of PSG was great for them and stuff. But in the league, it looked like they were like a different team playing away from home. I just didn't see the same team. And I know, okay, true. I think they got hit with injuries bad, probably one of the worst injury teams. So maybe my prediction is a little bit left field, and I think so. But I'm just, all you can go off of is how I saw them perform last season. They're really pushing into they can't do any signings because of the FFP.
Yeah.
So, and I really think that they wanted to do a lot of signings. I really think that they looked at their squad, so injury ridden, needed to make signings, can't make signings. Now they're going back into the league with kind of the same problem. So it's a little bit of a no their squad stays fit, goes no Europe, end 7th, end 6th, end 5th, or it could just be exactly the same thing.
I've got West Ham in 10th. So I don't know, have you got any thoughts on West Ham since you know Lopetegui so well?
Obviously a little bit of a bittersweet thing with Lopetegui leaving us like that, but I rate him as a manager. I just don't know. The only thing I wouldn't say about Lopetegui is I don't know if his style of football is very different to David Moyes' style of football.
I mean, West Ham always talk about the West Ham way, and I don't know what the hell that is.
That's it. Maybe just at Wolves he played a specific way. But when he managed Sevilla, if you think of Sevilla, they're like a well-drilled defensive outlet, good, strong team. That's like Lopetegui. And West Ham fans were winning so many things, in games, and doing really well, but they weren't liking the style of football that David was. Now you get this foreign manager in. Is it any different?
Yeah, it could be a bit of a be careful what you wish for scenario. Because I mean, they won something for the first time, and I don't know how many years West Ham, and it was a European competition, and they were doing well in the Premier League. They were in the best place they've been in. Goodness knows how long. So let's see, West Ham fans could be careful what you wish for. Okay, give me your 9 to 7, and then we'll focus on the top 6 after that. Give me your 9 to 7.
I got West Ham in 8th.
Okay.
So that's I think they made some good signings, so I think they're good there. But I got Chelsea in 9th.
Ooh.
And I've got Crystal Palace in 7th.
Okay. I've got Brighton in 9th, Chelsea 8th, Newcastle 7th, which I said already.
Okay. So I think the way you're thinking of Newcastle is the way I'm thinking of Crystal Palace this season. Which is interesting, But Chelsea in 9th?
Yes, let's talk about Chelsea. And now we can talk more about Neto going there and all those things. So tell me everything you want to say about this whole scenario.
I knew Neto was going to go.
But not to Chelsea.
But not to Chelsea, no. But I don't think I don't care who it was. I probably would prefer it to be outside of the Premier League. But I love Neto and I really want him to do well. And the Premier League is a place to be. So I'm glad he stayed in the Premier League in a way. It was such confusing. I was so up and down with my emotions because I knew he was going to go, but it was very sad when he went. I really like Neto. And yes, I know he was injured and player, but to be that good, you can to give so much to a team in such little games, it just shows you the quality of a player. He's an 80-90 million pound player, but the injuries obviously, And I think we got a good price for him. But why would you go to a team that have 8 wingers what is it? Like
So 8 different teams. Not just
Exactly.
leagues.
Why would you go there and just be? And if you're an injured player, you can easily get injured, and then the manager forgets about you, like a forgotten child. Oh, Neto's back. I don't know. Like it could. Why you're in a team at Wolves where you're the main guy, and if you fit the whole season, you play every single game. Now you go to a bigger team. Fair enough. Bigger things for him, but competing with so many players, and and it's so erratic there. Like Chelsea is a little bit of a shambles.
They are.
Yeah.
And it upsets me. One of our best friends is a Chelsea supporter.
Yeah.
Jason, what's up, brother, if you're watching? But it's sad for me to see the state that Chelsea's in, because growing up, I had a soft spot for Chelsea with, the likes of Lampard and Drogba and players like that, Terry, that were there. I had a soft spot for them. And now to see what they've become, you're right, it's an absolute shambles. They've tried to copy the Brighton method by hiring a lot of their staff, snatching some of their players, Caicedo being the biggest one, and it has not worked at all. And this whole method of wanting to buy young players and then put them on 8-year contracts and then hope that their price tag will jump or skyrocket, and then you sell them on, it has not worked at all. And they are, like you said, a shambles.
100%. You can't. You have one player in your team who's a diehard Chelsea fan. He's Chelsea through and through. You have Conor Gallagher that actually on that pitch, when you see Chelsea play, you can't miss Gallagher. He might not be the best footballer, but his work rate is second to none.
And they treated him so bad. He was gone. He had to basically turn around and come back.
I see that picture of him sitting like on the thing.
I mean, it's so bad. And then they've got someone like Lavia, who Liverpool were after, and he's come out with comments recently saying basically that he always wanted to play for Chelsea, and he's so good that he's played for neither.
That's so true.
So well done to him.
Well done to him. Yeah, and Caicedo hasn't done anything big there, to be honest, either.
But I do rate. I don't know. Maybe it's just Chelsea, or because I really rated Caicedo and I was desperate for Liverpool to sign him, and it hasn't worked. But maybe he'll kick on the season. I don't know. I doubt it, just because of the scenario that he's in at Chelsea. I just don't see any players thriving besides Cole Palmer, obviously. And let's see. I mean, they ended the season so well, then they go and sack Poch, and it's like, what? It just doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Do you think that their manager is going to be there at the end of the season? We just don't know. Eh? They could even do well, you don't know.
Yeah, I would probably say no, actually. I don't think Maresca is going to be there at the end of the season. I really don't.
I mean, I've got them 9th, so...
Yeah, and I mean, I've got them 8th, so not much better. Who did you have in 7th?
Palace.
Palace. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you want to touch on them again, but 7th, that is extremely high.
It's high. There's always that one club, that overperforms. And
so they're your dark horse of the
season. Horse, yeah. They looked, even last season, I know we spoke about Palace a lot, but did you watch the Arsenal against Palace game? I don't know when it was, but Arsenal went to Palace to the end. There was it was a big game and Arsenal had to win. Arsenal were brilliant, but Palace were all over Arsenal in that game. They lost. Arsenal won, a true champion side. But just watching them play, they're a good team. They're really
especially at home. That's a tough place to go. I always get nervous going to Selhurst Park.
It's horrible playing. Yeah. So. And I really think that they've got a good manager. They haven't dipped in form with the loss of their players, so I think they've got a good squad, and I think that they could be that.
All right, your 6th to 4th place team.
Okay, so 6th to 4th, 6th to 1st, hey? 6th to 4th.
No, we'll do the top 3 separate. 6th to 4th.
Well, who do you have 6th to 4th?
I've got Aston Villa in 6th.
Yeah.
So.
Aston Villa in 6th.
So dropping 2 places is not too bad, to be honest. Let's be real, 6th place for Aston Villa, just if you just really think about it, that's not so bad. 4th place was mental for Aston Villa. How Unai Emery pulled that off is crazy. And I think it's going to be a little bit of a Newcastle. them competing in the Champions League, like I said, I don't think their squad, they don't have a humongous squad. They've got a good squad, but you're going to have to play your best players in the Champions League. The Champions League is no joke. And it's difficult when it's those late Wednesday nights and then you could have an early kickoff Saturday. It's not easy. And I think there could be a reality check, but only dropping 2 places. So I don't think they're going to fall off a cliff. Because Unai Emery is he's a good manager and he's really good at managing teams like this where they are a little bit of the underdog. I think he struggled at Arsenal when it was, okay, you have to go and perform. When he's at a team where it's, we want you to do well, but, what's the word? Overachieving. He's good at overachieving with big clubs, but not, you know what I'm saying? So I have them in 6th, and I've got United in 5th and Tottenham in 4th.
Tottenham.
Which would be a great season for them.
Okay, but before we get to them, I want to just touch on that Villa. Like, isn't it weird to talk about Villa, putting them 8th or 9th? It's like you need to make you need to show like, oh, it's not going to go well
100%.
because this is not going well, or like talking negatively about Villa is your reasoning behind putting them 8th or 9th.
Yeah, just shows how
Whereas imagine putting Southampton 8th or 9th. You have to explain how amazing they're going to be this season, right? Villa have now become, in like, 2-3 seasons, they've become a team now that you
think about where they were when Gerrard was there.
100%. How does that happen? Like, I don't understand. They get one match and they almost get relegated. Can you imagine? Finish 7th. Next season get Champions League. Their trajectory is just going up.
Yeah.
So their summer has been amazing. They made incredible signings. I really think that they're gonna like do very well this season. But they've literally just prepared their squad to at least compete. In the Champions League and in the league, and I think they've done that. So I think you got a good. I put them in 5th, so it's not really any different. But I think 5th, 6th.
It's
a good cup run.
It's nothing harsh on Villa. It's just the Premier League is just that good. Exactly. We just think that there are a couple teams better than them.
So where's United?
5th, just to miss out. And I think Tottenham will have a better season. But who's your 5th place?
My 5th place is Villa, but I put United.
Oh yes.
So I think you and I switched United and Villa. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, talk to me about United.
I felt wrong I felt more confident putting Crystal Palace in 7th than United at 6th. I don't know, United.
In the way of they would be lower than that or higher than that? Lower than that.
But United use their pedigree to just keep them always in the mix of the top places. I don't know how I can't explain that. It's just the demand of their fans, the demand of the club. When they struggle in games, they'll still find a way to win that game. Or they'll still find a way to...
As they should do, with the money that they've spent.
Exactly.
As you should.
So with that, so I think they'll end 6th, but I still think it's going to be a disaster. I think Erik ten Hag, if he doesn't get Champions League this season...
6th and win a trophy, or 6th, do you think? Do you think they'll win a trophy again? That's 2 seasons in a row for Ten Hag, Carabao Cup and then FA Cup.
Well, he wins trophies. If they don't want him, he'll go somewhere else to win trophies. Yeah. No, I don't know. I can see them winning a trophy, but that's not. I don't think United fans really care about that. They want Champions League football.
I think this is his 3rd season. They have to finish in the top 4. But in his 3rd season, with all this, you think about all the signings that, like Anthony, who we all laugh at now and stuff. But I mean, like, what did they spend? Like 80 mil on him. They brought in Casemiro. They brought in Lenny Yoro now, who's injured for like 3 months.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
De Ligt now. Top name signings that they've made. You're in your 3rd season now. You should be challenging at this point with those signings. But we're still talking about United as in, maybe top 4, just finish our top 4, which is just not good enough.
I actually think I would not be surprised if Man United struggle. If in their term struggle is say like between 8th and 5th. Sack Ten Hag, Chelsea struggle, Sack Maresca, Ten Hag goes to Chelsea. Genuinely, like I can see
Imagine
it
that.
happening. Like,
Oh my goodness, that'd be
it's-
hilarious.
yeah. But did you watch the Community Shield? Yeah.
I saw parts of it, and United weren't bad.
They were the better team.
Yeah.
They should have scored. They should have won that game for sure. Which was surprising. I don't know if United had a very good attack or if City had a very bad defense.
Yeah,
Because they looked split
I
apart.
never take City too seriously in the Community Shield because they hadn't won that competition since 2019,
that's true.
and they're in it pretty much every season. So
Yeah, it's a very good point. But United looked good, and I was quite surprised. Yeah.
okay, let's. Oh wait, we haven't touched on Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham. I've got Tottenham fourth. I think
And I've also got
the
Tottenham.
first one.
Yeah,
We've got the same.
I've also got Tottenham.
Yeah. Okay, but I've got something big to say about Tottenham.
Okay,
So you go
okay,
first.
so let me go
Yeah.
first. So we all saw the way Tottenham played last season. Really fun to watch, but just a bit too crazy at times. A little bit like us. When
yeah.
Klopp first got there, we're real exciting football, super high line, but then you are going to get punished in certain games. You could get a spanking. But I think, and I hope for Tottenham fans' sake, that he just tightens things up just a little bit, you know, just that the boys know when to sit back a bit, don't hold such a high line, know when to control games. You don't always have to be going full throttle at teams. If they can do that, then I think they will finish fourth this season and have a decent season. But anyway, what would you like
Yeah,
to say?
fourth is what Tottenham's been chasing, really.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So no, I agree with you. I think if they tighten up, sure. I mean, as a neutral, I actually love watching Tottenham. I hope they don't tighten up. It makes games.
Yeah.
Can you imagine them? They're playing Leicester the first game of the season. Can you imagine that? Brilliant. Tottenham and Leicester always have these crazy games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I genuinely think, I really rate the manager. I really think he is a brilliant manager. Like he's very calm. He doesn't get affected by all the British kind of things. You know, his Australian accent strong, but he's got a Tottenham have been crying out for this kind of manager for so long, and now that he's here, had his first season, they did very well. It was a bit crazy, but he's got a very strong system in wants to play. They play good football. I feel like their manager, what's his name?
Ange Postecoglou.
Yes, thank you, Postecoglou. He's like the manager that West Ham actually would cry out for, to be honest. But now that he's got he looked at his system, he looked at what went wrong, where they got caught up. He's got that experience now. He's still going to play hard rock and roll football, score many goals. Found a brilliant striker to help them score all those goals. Got brilliant players everywhere on the pitch. Fastest centre back, or does Van der Ven play fullback? He plays fullback or centre back. Centre back. Fastest centre back. Got a Dogi, you've got your fullbacks, which are incredible. He's got a really good team that play rock and roll football, and I think he's going to learn from what happened last season. And I genuinely think Tottenham could be an outside shout for title.
You never know. I mean, if Solanke has a big season, if it really kicks off for him, then I think so. Because like that, you know, Pedro Porro, Dogi, Van der Ven, I do think they're still missing that real partnership with Van der Ven. Because, I mean, they didn't sell him. I saw Tottenham sold someone recently. Didn't they sell Royale?
Yeah, he went to AC Milan.
Because I was going to say that guy was just a little bit.
No.
I mean, him and who's the other guy who is just a real loose cannon? Absolute loose cannon. You can always bet on him. Is it Romero?
Sessegnon. Oh, Romero, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you
Yes,
can't
yes,
depend
yes.
on. He's always going to get a couple red cards a season, Romero. So I think they're still lacking that partnership with Van der
I
Ven.
see. Yeah.
Vicario, decent goalkeeper,
Yeah.
had a really good debut
Yeah.
season. So I think there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle there. Yeah, I think hopefully for the for the league, it's a real. There's not a big separation between third and fourth and then the top two. But we have to move on. I'm going to say mine because I think mine is what most people are probably, or not actually. I've seen a lot of people really think Liverpool are going to struggle. But my top three. City first, obviously. But I hope, which I'm sure Armand is going to touch on, that City do get punished, and that's something actually does happen. The hearing is supposed to happen. Anyway, City first, Arsenal second, Liverpool third. But please have a listen to Armand's top three and his reasoning.
It's the same, isn't it the same?
No,
Same teams, different order.
exactly. But this is important.
Yeah.
Who's just start? Who's third?
So, no surprise, City.
For third.
City third, Liverpool second, Arsenal first.
So Arsenal and Liverpool to both finish above City.
But a 3, potentially 4 horse title race.
To just
Yeah.
get straight into this.
So, okay,
Tell me why.
So look, City, it's stupid to bet against City, but they have a breach that it's hitting them this season. They can't run away from it now. It's done. You can't sue the Premier League more. It's been public knowledge that this season they're getting their verdict.
I just have no hope.
So there's two.
I just have no hope.
There's two outcomes. Either they get straight relegation, but you can still win the league, or you get a monstrous point deduction and you can't win the league. What else can you do? What else can you do?
I don't know. I just feel like they've got some people in there. You know, there's some ties in there with the Premier League. Something's going to happen. They're going to find a way.
The Premier League board is sitting there and they're going, we make a statement and say, okay, cool, City have proven themselves innocent. Can you, fair enough, if they are innocent, fair enough. But I mean, you can't be innocent and it's been going on for so long. I believe that, I can't say for sure, but there's no ways the Premier League's going to be able to justify all these breaches that have been proved by them. I know it's alleged breaches, but after what happened to Everton, they've set the nail, they've kind of made they've laid the ground how it's going to be with Forest, with Leicester coming up from the Championship. City cannot get away with their breaches like this. So it's going to hit them. And I do believe that if they get a straight relegation, but they can still win the league, people are going to be up in arms because they're going to be like,
if they get relegated, I wonder if they will be like, hey, Madrid, remember that Super League? Let's try to do that again.
Do you think, what I could see happening is they get a points deduction that is calculated to the point exactly of what City would need to still stay in the Premier League.
Imagine that.
That could be something big, but everyone's predicting City to win the league, and they know about this information. It's been coming forever, but it's Judgment Day. The season is Judgment Day. And the Premier League are going to have 19 other clubs at their throat if something isn't done. And you cannot tell me that the players, Pep is standing there, cool guys, 5th season, let's make it a new record, and we got these breaches, but whatever, and I'm saying there's no motivation.
I want you to be right. Yeah. I hope that you're right.
I don't see the players have more motivation than last season to win the league. I don't, you can't say what it is, a shadow. They've not been signing any players because they're scared or they can't sign any players. Everyone else has been improving, but them.
Except
I've got a fear about them. But anyway, they're going to say, well, this is the squad we have. We've won this season. We've won the league for years in a row. We still have the same squad. In the Premier League, you have to improve. There's no staying the same. You either improve or you get worse.
Talking about staying the same, my third place, Liverpool. Let's chat about Liverpool. I've said this before in a video, I am excitingly frustrated. I'm really excited by what Slot is doing. I really enjoy the tactics. I love the way that we're playing. It's nice to see, and look, of course, it's pre-season, of course, but I like seeing Liverpool more in control of a game. I think us being more in control gives the likes of a Trent more freedom to be forward, and then not as soon as we lose the ball, it's like, okay, we'll just ping it to that side of the field, that team's in. I think the way the triangles, the shapes, when we lose the ball, I think we're a lot more secure. But besides all of that, no signings, and then we finally go after someone, and it's so public, and then we get rejected, and then Richard Hughes, who we got Bournemouth director of football.
What?
His first signing that is, supposed to happen is a goalkeeper from Valencia. And what is the first thing that's happening? We are signing him and we are loaning him to Bournemouth. So Richard Hughes' first signing for Liverpool is for Bournemouth.
Oh wow, yeah, that's
So it's just
that's interesting.
that side of things is frustrating. I still think we need another centre back. I still think we need a real ball playing number 6. I love Endo, but I don't think he's a ball playing number 6. We just need like that Caicedo McAllister type relationship that they had at Brighton. We need that. But that's why, look, it's not like I think the wheels are going to fall off. I still have us in third because I really do believe in what Slot is going to do. But you said you have a theory about it.
I think the no sign is actually in your benefit because if Slot came in and made 6 signings, he's technically saying, okay, cool, this is Klopp's system, I'm not Klopp, bring my players in, this is my system, we're going to play, we need this. We were watching the press conference together earlier, and he said, I'm not going to come in here and fix it, I don't need to fix anything, everything's working. It's great, I'm just here to strive for more perfection. We'll never reach the perfection, but we can keep striving. Klopp built a system for 8 years, distilled in those players that has worked. He's coming in and adding something to it. But the players that by keeping all your signings, it's a benefit because you're still playing in that Klopp system, but now you're bringing like more sprinkle to it in terms of getting more possession. So he is going to take Liverpool from rock and roll, a bit of erraticness, still doing so well, but now to a team that's going to be able to control that rock and roll. And I'm very worried about Liverpool because, and from a non-Liverpool fan, because I think you guys are even better now, and it's going to be like, look, maybe we need that because we need someone for City to beat City, but I genuinely think Liverpool are going to be way up there for title.
Well, it's good, but it's making me feel better.
Yeah,
it's
and
nice
maybe not winning it because of the lack of one critical player that you need.
Yeah. Let's see, there's still time in the window. The window only shuts end of August, so...
Do you know who'd be brilliant for you? It's João Gomez from Wolves. A Brazilian, young Brazilian.
The youngster.
That guy, he's probably
I
my
do
favorite player.
I do rate him.
He's a workhorse like what Liverpool. But I'm glad no one in the Premier League is going to listen to this and know me because I do not want him to Liverpool. But he reminds me of like a player Liverpool could use in that position.
And your first place team?
Yeah, Arsenal. I think it just feels like what happened to Liverpool, coming so close to City, lost. Coming so close, breaking the points record, lost.
And this has to be.
And then you guys went on to win.
Time.
I think it was the third time you guys tried against City that you won the league.
It was the second time. So the 2018-19 season was the season that became really close, where we got 97 points and still didn't win it. Next season we won the league. But here's the difference though, and this is what Arteta, Arsenal fans, you can't not win anything this season. I know you guys want to win the Premier League, of course, strive for that. But that's the difference. The season before we won the league, we won the Champions League. Then we won the league. And then we won the Club World Cup and the Super Cup. And then it carried on going. While we were going at City, we were still going at everything else. Because, you're Arsenal Football Club. Yeah. Your club is built on trophies. You've got to go win trophies.
And I think this is their season. I genuinely think they have the most... If you take Chelsea and you just flip them upside down, you get Arsenal. Because they are the most stable, well-run club at the moment. Solid managers, solid plans, solid signings, solid backing. They've got Premier League experience in those title races. Yes, they've lost, but it's still experience. They've been making some incredible additions. Arteta's raving about Jesus having a breakout season. Could be right. I don't know if he stays fit, but they've got good players.
Yeah,
they've got
a solid back line.
And I think that you win, attack wins your games, defense wins your titles. And
they've got a good spine, it's so important to have Raya, Saliba and Rice. That's a solid, it's just solid. That's what you need, man. Yeah. It's the same with us, like when we had Ali, VVD and Fabinho at their best.
So that's why I think they're going to win the title. Not because they're going to be a little bit better than last season, but would that be enough to win the title if City were better than last season? No. I think if City showed that they were going to improve in their signings and with not all this. I think City will win the league, but City haven't, and they're going to drop, which is going to make Arsenal win the league. But Arsenal mustn't put all their worry and focus on the City. You think they must watch Liverpool and your arch rivals, Tottenham, right up there. I can see the London derbies being massive this season because both teams are going to fight for like top of the league at one stage.
Well, let's hope for an exciting season. So those are our predictions for the season. Let us know what you think of our predictions. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that we are nuts? Let us know in the comments and bring on the Premier League. Yes, man.